Can anyone become a breatharian?
I don't know, it depends I guess. If they are not so keen on the whole staying alive thing, then sure. Lots of people have starved themselves to death for various reasons, but anyone who wants to live, well obviously not. At least not without eating. Get it? I am very funny.
The short answer is no.
Well, there it is, video over. Breatharian promoter himself says that no one can be breatharian. Case closed, let's all go to the pub. No, even you back there who doesn't drink, it's fine. It's not like I'm gonna actually let anyone else have a drink, it's all going inside me.
Becoming a breatharian actually requires a specific person.
Oh damn it, he's not even done. And specific person? What do you mean? There's one possible breatharian? Or like a type of person? Because I'll tell you, there's only one kind of person that claims to be a breatharian. A fucking liar. You cannot maintain your existence indefinitely without consuming nourishment, unless you break the laws of goddamn physics. And funnily enough, hippy-dippy whack-job morons don't tend to have actual superpowers that we can test. For some reason.
And an inner calling to the practice.
You must be called to brag to strangers about how you haven't eaten since July 2004, whilst quickly wiping away the crumbs of the 17th chocolate bar you've eaten this hour. It's a noble calling, I'm not gonna lie, because you know, they are the ones who have a monopoly on telling fibs. And I don't want them to sue me.
It brings many gifts: less sleep, longevity, perfect body weight.
Oh, off. First off, I can't imagine anything but the need for way more sleep would be needed, since you know you aren't topping up your energy supplies, unless it gives you fucking insomnia I guess, and perfect body weight. For what, a goddamn 7-year-old gopher maybe?
Intuition and happiness.
Not eating food gives you great intuition. I guess the intuition of, fuck me, I really need a sandwich. And yeah, people who don't get enough food, always the happiest people on earth. And they get so sad when whatever fucked up ecological or economic crisis ends and they can actually have some decent fucking food.
But it's not meant for anyone.
I know what he's supposed to mean, but the words he used and the inflection he put on it, it really sounds like he's saying that no one can be a breatharian. And that's likely to be the only true thing he says in this entire fucking video. And it was completely by accident, of course. Fantastic, but just listen. Hey dude, who is being a breatharian for?
It's not meant for anyone.
Yep, still funny.
After initiating more than 1,000 students, here are the top 3 common denominators.
Translation: after scamming 1,000 desperate fools and self-deluded morons, here are 3 things that most of you will try to convince yourselves you fit into. Because again, desperate and deluded does not make for a rational person.
I've seen in people that want to take the leap through the Breatharian initiation.
Oh, the fact that it starts with an initiation, I mean, that is some goddamn proper culty sounding shit right there. And I wonder how much that costs anyway. Oh, goddamn, 2,500 euros. And if you look over here, that's apparently without your own room? What the fuck? So basically a 9-day holiday at some likely shitty little compound where they literally will be barely feeding you, assuming that you don't have to pay for the food that you won't be eating anyway. And if you want your own space and privacy and not having to suffer the burps and farts and snores of your fellow morons, you will be paying over 300 euros a day. Fuck that. If you want to go a week without food, you should just come and hang out with me for a week. It's half the price and you definitely won't have to share a room with anyone, because you'll be sleeping outside.
First, you must be a balanced person.
The fact that you used someone literally balancing on their head is really funny to me. Have a good sense of equilibrium? Well, that's just because you're better than everyone else. I mean, look at me. And you cannot deny that I am the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep me down. Oh, shit!
And by balance, I mean your emotions.
See, that makes it even funnier. By balanced, I don't mean the thing I'm showing you, because that would be fucking stupid. I mean something that you can just lie about all the time to become one of us special people who definitely never feels any feelings like greed or anger or the worst emotion of all, being a fucking moron. We are just too good for that crap.
People who have different mental health issues like eating disorders or bipolar disorder.
That is both incredibly insulting and also kind of f***ing obvious. But seriously, way to gatekeep the wonderful world of not eating anything from the people who, if your claims were even remotely true, would likely benefit the most. But there's the rub, isn't it? I think you know it doesn't help anyone. So you need to do your damnedest to make sure no poor fucker dies on your asinine course. Can't imagine it would be good for business, but then again, the amount of woos that have killed people and none of you fuckers bat an eyelid is extremely scary. Although not as scary as the blame game that inevitably follows. They weren't doing it right. Yeah, of course. Doing bullshit correctly suddenly makes it not bullshit. Sure thing.
They won't be able to keep up the lifestyle of a breatharian beyond the initiation.
I'm pretty sure that's true of any functional human being. This just smacks of you don't actually know if anyone may or may not have any conditions, but you will sure as shit say they do if they fail to keep up a literally impossible task. And if they do keep it up and, fucking die, well, they still get blamed, because that's how this kind of garbage always plays out.
The lifestyle of a breatharian can be very challenging at first and can push one to their limits.
For those stupid enough to try, I am very sure, but that's why every single person who has claimed to be a breatharian for however many years has been shown to be full of shit. They either refuse to demonstrate how they do it under lab conditions, or they have some bullshit caveat like, I don't drink water or eat food, but I do mix them together and consume that, completely shitting on the entire concept. Cause seriously, in that regard, I'm a fucking breatharian. I don't eat wheat and I don't drink water, but I sure as hell consume a lot of whiskey.
Which is a choice we make for personal growth.
And anyone who can't achieve the thing that I totally can and am not lying about is so clearly a bad person. So make sure that you pretend you can do it whilst sneaking snacks as you go to the toilet that you literally shouldn't need to use if you are not intaking any form of nutrients. No, you don't understand. I don't have diarrhea from constantly turning all the food I definitely don't eat into some insubstantial pulp. It's just all the toxins leaving my body or something twice a day forever. I'm surprised there's any of me left.
It is absolutely necessary that a person who wants to become a breatharian is able to stay positive and optimistic.
Well, obviously, we all know about getting hangry to the point where you would punch 3,000 wheelchair-bound grandmothers just to get that delicious snack you have been craving all day, instead of the normal 20k that you usually do just on the way to wherever you're going. So being able to avoid that would certainly help, I suppose. And even if you don't get the hangries, being hungry is just one of the most miserable feelings, especially when there's no good reason for you to be so. Like when you diet. Is being healthy really all it's cracked up to be? I don't think so.
During the process and during the first couple of months right after their initiation.
There's that initiation word again. God, it sounds so creepy. I can only imagine that he's sat there having them pelted with the food that they're not allowed to eat and then uses them as footstools before the ones who didn't pay extra get to fall asleep in the cupboard they set aside for the cheapskates.
If you want to become a breatharian, you can't be affected drastically by society and the world around you.
Fuck me, it is a cult, isn't it? Hey, if you want to become better than everybody else, you better not listen to anyone else. Those people are only jealous of us and how much more amazing we are than them. And when they beg you to stop this madness and just eat some food like a normal person, that's them actually trying to sabotage you because they hate you and wish they were as dedicated as you are, or some shit like that.
Not as much as the average person is.
Yeah, so basically, anything that would be considered completely normal is bad, and you are bad, and all the people around you are bad. Cool. Great to know. What even is how much the average person is affected by society? Exactly. Do you have a metric to measure it? I would imagine it's ever listening to anyone but your dipshit woo peddling mates in the ever.
This is especially true because you will be going against the norms of society in order to practice breatharianism.
The only way anyone would possibly know that it's happening is if they fucking told anyone. But that's the problem. What's the point of being this thing if you don't constantly brag about it? And how awesome you feel between your bouts of depression, fits of rage, and desperate granny punching clambers for food that you don't eat. So if you're not telling anyone, how on earth would they know? It's almost like it's far more important to be seen doing this than whether or not it's actually something that is even remotely possible.
You'll need to be open and be aware to the new and profound experiences that breatharianism is going to bring to you.
Hunger-induced hallucination is not something anyone should be striving to achieve. In fact, I would argue it's extremely bad for you. The psychological and physical effects of starvation are well understood and are frankly pretty scary, and no one attempting to live a healthy weight lifestyle with really good mental health should ever attempt such a thing.
But in the same time, you will have to be stubborn and determined in the practice to push yourself through the uncomfortableness of the practice until it balances out.
Except I'm betting that literally never happens. Your body is screaming at you to feed it because that's how it works. This talk of better health and the idea of having more energy / lower tiredness is completely inverse to how human beings fucking work. You cannot have more inside your body than you are putting into it. If you use up energy and the basic building blocks of nutrition that keeps your body functioning, your body will cease to function. Seriously, I have no idea how these people can explain people starving without jumping through completely insane hoops just to justify how it's because they weren't starving themselves properly, as if there is such a thing.
The pros will outweigh the cons either way.
Seriously doubt that, but let's list them out anyway. Pros. You get to bang on and on and on about everyone else's bad choices and that they would be so much healthier if they just stopped eating all that filthy salad. Con. You die. Pro. You die, so you stop doing that first thing. But that's more of a pro for the rest of us, but it still benefits me, so I'm counting it. Con. This entire thing. And it's a really big con, so I am pretty sure it outweighs literally all the pros that exist for anything ever.
Number 2, spiritual person.
Spiritual person, also known in Sursix, first edition Woo to Terrible Person Translation Dictionary. A prick. If you have to believe in nonsense about the universe in order to get something to work, chances are that it doesn't fucking work. That is a pro tip, that is, by the way.
Not only do you have to be a balanced person to become a breatharian, but you have to be intuitively called to it.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly fucking no one that wasn't thoroughly weeded out by natural selection, seeing as most people who decided, you know what, screw food, will have certainly not done very well in the old evolutionary arms race.
Whether you're already spiritual, practice elements of breatharianism, or haven't done anything spiritual ever in your entire life.
Oh, well, I do spiritual things all the time. I'm constantly in touch with the spirits. I feel them inside me. Hell, sometimes I even open the bottle up and have a good sniff. Oh, wait, I think he was talking about something else.
If you are called to breatharianism and are curious for it, it is meant for you.
Surely that's entirely untrue. I'm sure that so many people think, oh, that sounds cool and interesting, I should do it. But of course, this again comes back to having a way to discount the failures of the whole idea to work. Well, of course he couldn't keep up. He was never truly called by it. Of course they starved to death. They were never meant to be one of us. At no point thinking, wait, since literally everyone who isn't fucking lying / cheating does one of the above, maybe it's breatharianism that is the bad and wrong thing. Nah, I'm too clever to dedicate my life to a farce. Must be everyone else who's dumb.
This is simple. Your higher guidance is actually leaving you clues to the lessons that you need to learn in life.
Then what the fuck does anyone need your overpriced bullshit course for, eh? If the spiritual mumbo jumbo would lead those who want it to it anyway, then you are literally just a middleman taking a cut of people's hard-earned money that you should never even dream of taking from them. Even by your own standards, you are a fucking con artist.
I suggest you don't ignore those lessons because it will just slow you down.
Well, of course you wouldn't want that. You will already be slow enough as it is, with barely enough energy to pull yourself off the floor towards your guests to tell them for the 5th time tonight just how incredible you feel before passing out and waking up in the hospital where those absolute bastards have ruined the whole thing by giving you an IV drip of liquids and nutrients directly through the blood. That's why you now feel like death warmed up and are having trouble saying words and sitting upright, fucking doctors.
You have to learn to trust your guidance with all of your heart.
Well, we can only hope that your guidance tells you that this man in front of me is a con man. And maybe it's okay that I eat a balanced diet instead of pulling this insane crap that will never work and only leaving you worse off than if you had never even tried.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the